Good morning. It's a good day. It's September 29th, 2021. And it's a SIG Node CI subgroup meeting. Let me share my screen so we can go through agenda. Okay. Can you see it?
Looking good. Looks like you're up first, Sergey, with node conformance updates.
Wait, I will need to reshare. Oh, resume share. Okay. It paused for some time, for some reason. Anyway, yeah, node conformance update. I started writing everything down, and then I realized it's just too many edge cases. So I wrote a small program that takes all the test definitions, and I'm analyzing it now. I was surprised to some tests that I found. I'm trying to run this test. Each test has not conformance but don't have conformance. That kind of queries, and it feels like, I mean, to clean everything up, it may require some efforts. I will create a list. Yeah, it's
Is there like a
still
spreadsheet
ongoing.
or something, or we can?
Yeah,
just
I will make. Yeah, I want to make it in a spreadsheet. Right now, it's just a little Go programs that so I ran this. Let me show. I closed all the documents. Yeah, so I ran dry run for Ginka, something like that, and then I give some output, and then I wrote a small Go program that analyze, parses out all the tests. So I will be, I originally I put it in CSV, but then I didn't like how it's because I didn't put all the fields separately. So now I will change it and just make a column for every tag, and it will be easy to analyze. Yeah, so still ongoing. I didn't realize how many permutations we have, and it's a little bit more involved than I expected. So yeah, I will have updates next time, and I will share a spreadsheet as long as I have it, as soon as I have it, so everybody can play around. Yeah, that's all I have today for node conformance, unfortunately. Hopefully next time it will be already done. But I mean, it's looking better now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say at least having the sort of test runner scripts for finding all of the things. Surely that's going to be very helpful. So.
Yeah. My second approach was first I started that, and then second approach is I'm trying to understand what we need for what kind of use cases we want to satisfy, and I started writing those down, and then I also a little bit stuck because I mean, we have so many test jobs, so looking at test jobs taking some time. One thing I realized that we use feature inconsistently with feature gate. So I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I can get a quick feedback here. I'm thinking that feature may stay forever, as an indication that this functionality needs a special setup. But then besides the feature, maybe we need to have a feature gate flag. And this feature gate flag will indicate whether we want, what exact feature gate needs to be enabled. And it may be even used for beta features, because beta feature
often corresponds with a feature gate. So I think that's accurate. As I think Jordan said on a PR, feature has a special meaning. It basically means this thing is an alpha feature. When things cease to be alpha features, those are supposed to be taken off of the tests to ensure that they're running in all the end-to-end runs, because presumably the feature gate is defaulting to on. Some of them do include some logic to say if this feature gate is not set, then skip this test, because in theory the feature gate could be disabled, even though it's on by default. But generally, I think the thing is all of these sort of test selectors or whatever, we should be careful about which ones that we use and do not use, because like they mean things to other people. I don't know that this is very well documented, and maybe that's something that we should like have a conversation with SIG testing about. But like generally, I would say like you can, for example, like if you want to just filter on like I want to test these things for this feature, you don't even need a schmancy test selector. Like it's literally just a regex match. So like you could like type, I don't know, node swap. And as long as all of the test names have node swap in them, then like that's going to show up when we query for that when we pass a focus to Jinko. So
yeah,
I'm
I
kind of
understand
like,
that.
yeah.
Just I mean, we can keep feature as a meaning at a feature gate. The problem is that we use feature for two scenarios. First scenario is to indicate as alpha and special meaning, and it may be forever special meaning. It may be forever special environment. And the second thing is it may be like
I think
if
we
you
need better ways of communicating these things. I think one of the, so we've talked to SIG Arch about this, we've talked amongst ourselves about this, and we've talked to like the wider SIG node about this. We haven't talked to SIG testing. I think that they have opinions, and we probably should talk to them too. So maybe that's like maybe our next steps for, because like in theory they would own the documentation for this anyways. It wouldn't be a SIG Arch thing. So like maybe they have ideas in terms of how they want this to look, and we should work together with them. So I don't know if anybody wants to follow up with them on that. Maybe Mike,
definitely.
if you're already working on this, or yourself, Sergey.
Yeah, definitely. So the only thing I wanted to highlight is we have this use case when we want to disable feature gate. Like, for instance, we have this exact prop timeout that is causing a lot of problems for customers, and it's disabled in GKE for sure. And I think it's also disabled for Azure for now. So there are cloud providers who don't want to test this feature on, and we need to have an easy way to disable it and test without it. I mean, it may be one-off. I don't know, like, but it doesn't feel like one-off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like specifically, the idea is like you can add the end-to-end skipper to these end-to-end tests. Like the things tagged feature mean that it's an alpha feature. Once that goes away, they should still have this thing that says like, you know, if the feature gate is not set, skip it kind of thing. I think there are a few tests that will actually go and turn feature gates on, and maybe we want to kind of avoid that in SIG Node. But because I don't know that that would be very helpful.
I mean, it's really bad with dynamic kubelet config,
It's
right?
bad with dynamic kubelet config. So maybe we just say as like a standard thing, you know, like we'll see, is the feature gate on or not? If it's not, skip.
Yeah, and also I wonder if we need to have a requirement for people to test that feature is disabled when feature gate is not set, because I don't think we ever test it. And it's, I mean, we solely rely on code review to review that kind of behavior, which I don't know, like, and to test that behavior, we need to, like, it's challenging because you need to disable features that is enabled by default already. So you need to have a special environment, and presumably will be special execution, which is.
Yeah, I think anything that has a special environment, we probably should have like, we should include a skipper to like check to make sure the special environment is present so they don't break on other environments. But like, I don't know. Part of the problem that we're dealing with right now is there's just like been this organic growth of tests over the past 7 years, and I don't think that anybody's kind of sat down and said like, oh yeah, we should have this like one unified strategy. They kind of have just grown piecemeal in many directions, and I think it's good to have guidelines, and it's good to be able to say like XYZ, and it's even better to be able to enforce it with code. But generally, like there's some things that, you know, like, does this code need this infra is like going to be a hard thing to enforce in code. It's very hard to tell the linter that. So
Yeah, and it's another interesting use case. I'm thinking, do we need to run all the conformance tests with all the beta features disabled? Because we don't do it today, and it sounds like a good idea and right thing to do, but I don't know whether anybody ever run Kubernetes with beta features disabled. It's just like, I mean,
that
we are
sounds like
in a
a
world
question
when
for
everybody.
testing.
Yeah.
Like a question for SIG testing and possibly a question for production readiness, because we talk a lot about like being able to turn off beta features, but I don't know that we do a lot of testing with it.
Yeah, exactly. And to enable this, we clearly need to have a way to express that this is a beta feature and this is a like feature which is beta. So I don't think just beta flag will be enough in this case. I mean, maybe just beta flag will be enough, but anyway, yeah, that is my. Unfortunately, I don't have like well systemized, but I spent quite some time to like try to put it in the writing, and yeah, it will be much better next time.
There's another thing I want to mention related to this. I'm not sure if this is a valid approach, but wouldn't it make sense to add this as a requirement for every KEP that once it migrates from alpha to beta or from beta to GA to update the proper test with the labels or remove the feature labels if it's required?
Yeah, that's supposed to happen right now. It just has not for various reasons. So now we have to kind of go back and fix them.
Okay.
Yeah, and whenever I reviewed, I asked for that, but I mean, there are way more features than we review amongst this group.
Yeah, that makes
Anyway.
sense.
So yeah, retroactively we will need to fix a lot of things, but hopefully we can do that. I mean, what we need to do is like a definition of what we want to achieve, and then it will be easier to rename everything. Shouldn't be that complicated.
Yeah.
Like in general, it also can be useful to have some documents that will like to create mapping between like lane to tags that you set on your test. Like, so you will for sure know for which lane you will run your test in case if you will add some specific number of tags. I don't know, something like this.
Say it again. What tags?
For example, all these features, node alpha features, I don't know, serial tag, and I believe we have much more under our end-to-end tests. Like it can be just useful to see under which lanes you will run your test if you specified some set of tags.
Oh, I see. So you want a mapping to a dashboard?
Yeah, exactly. Something like this.
Yeah, that would be even better. So I see what I can do. Actually, it's not that complicated. Okay, well, let me see. Yeah, I like writing tools, so maybe I'll just pick up that one as well. Okay, let's go to the next topic. David, you said you moved it here, and yeah, okay.
Yeah, I reached out to Amit, who's more familiar with the kube test migration. Yeah, they had some conflict today, but next meeting they'll come in and give us a little bit more information about that.
The next meeting is 8 a.m. in the morning, I think.
Oh, okay. Then we can either reschedule or I don't know, whatever it works better. I don't know.
Let me check. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, next week is not. I'm checking now. I don't remember. It's next week or week after the next. To be morning. No, next week is still the same time. Yeah, week after the next it will be 8 a.m. Thursday.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. I don't recognize this alias, so whoever added it.
Because it's my surname, it's not Marias.
I
Okay.
don't know what you got.
Oh, hi everyone. So I'm working with SIG testing about job migration. So we identify a bunch of special projects used by ProJob. So the question is, can we migrate away of those projects? I put a list of links that basically are linked to code source. So if you check the first one, you will see a bunch of jobs using special projects. So I'm want to know if we can migrate away of those projects.
Yeah, I think we already migrate pull requests, right? Was a PR validation. So, and I think that is fine. I mean, shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, so we can do it at once. Because I'm not sure of the impact. I'm not sure if some of them are master blocking. I need to check. But
that is a great question.
Once?
We have like 1 or 2 that are master blocking, but I don't think it's the majority. Do you need one of us to check that? Because I think we honestly probably, like, this group of people doesn't know as much as you don't know. We are all semi-newcomers to this. I don't think any of us set up this like Jenkins project or these other projects. So I can, if you want.
I believe we migrated all the I remember we migrated already like a pull request validation, right? So
yeah, I think Aaron submitted a PR to move some stuff off of one project, but these are apparently other random projects that we have.
Yeah.
Arno, is the advice to just like remove setting a project specifically? Unless like we need it for some special reason?
We need to reach out to GitInfra to see how we can work to create a new project with special configuration, but the idea is to basically use the generic project provided by Bosco. Yeah,
I think that hopefully should be fine. Let me go and what I will do is I will take an action to double check if any of these jobs are master blocking.
Okay.
If they are,
I'll flag them. Anything? Well, maybe we'll avoid migrating those until we migrate everything else. But we can do all the rest of the things. So I'll take that as an action. That's no problem.
Should we prioritize them instead of like delaying? I just trying to understand like.
Well, so we know like the things that are possibly like at risk of breaking, and so like one of us is. I mean, presumably, Arno, you will want one of us from SIG Node to like either LGTM or approve the changes. So as long as somebody's aware of it and maybe makes a note in the channel, it should be okay. But I think it's fair to at least identify which ones could possibly break and when, so we're not like having a mystery about it, and then we can just revert if it breaks. It's fine. Okay.
No, basically the idea was someone from SIG Node doing the migration.
Oh, so you want us to do the migration? That's fair.
So I can, because I know Danielle was interested in working on some of those things, but
she's out of office for another week or 2.
Okay, so I can wait when she's come back, and I can work with her because we are in the same TZ.
I don't think we need to wait. We have lots of people on the call. This is a very friendly thing for someone who hasn't made a contribution to jump into. Would anybody be interested in dipping their toes into test infra?
Yeah, I can.
Sure. Okay. I'll do a. Let me change this action item. Arno, should we use this like master tracking issue, or should Node make our own? Okay, I'll make one for us just to cover what Node needs to do, and I'll link to the previous one.
And just CC me in the issue. I will track them. So you can basically.
No, I have a question. In this pull request from Aaron that moved pre-submits, I remember there was like change to remove project from a test definition, but also there is some central file in like some other folders that where he removed the projects from, or something like made some cleanup. First, I think we don't have permissions to we cannot approve changes in this file ourselves, so we will need to have like somebody from SIG test. And second is, do we know how? I just don't know the context for this file. Like, is it important to remove definitions from there? Can it be delayed and removed later in a single shot?
Okay, do you have the link of the file you're talking about? Because I can, for some of them, I can approve. If not, Aaron will approve because we need to do migration. So the priority for us is to migrate everything that's master blocking and master informing.
Oh, okay, so you want to do this first.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna have any issues with approvals. Like, we are being asked to do this. Presumably, they will approve when we have made the changes.
Yeah,
Yep.
just trying to minimize the amount of synchronization we need to make, because like if I mean, if we can approve, then like I don't know, Ryan sign up, right? Ryan will make a change, he will approve, and we can watch how it applied and that tests are actually running. If we cannot approve really quick, then it may be like we will need to have somebody else being around.
Approval should not be an issue because I think we basically SIG testing and case involved won't migrate those jobs during this milestone and before test free. So approval should not be a problem for us. It's just now it's about how many people are in front of the GitHub notification or the Slack to see if they need approval.
Okay. Okay then. I mean, I will try to find this what I meant by this file, but sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think it would be great to do all of those things, migrate the most of the jobs before code freeze, so we don't end up in a very complicated situation. I think that's all for me.
Yeah, I found this pull request. So this pull request has this change is basically removes the project specification explicitly, but then this file as well, which removes this project. I'm not sure what the context for this change and whether we need to do it in when migrating these jobs.
So you should not basically touch this file because this is the bus code resources, so the migration cannot impact by this change.
Okay.
If I understand correctly.
Okay. So
if you do the migration, yeah, if you basically that's Aaron did that to avoid getting alerting about resource exertion in the node portal. But you don't have to touch the bus code resources. SIG testing will take care of that.
Cool. So the only thing we need to do is to just remove this project explicitly. So
Yeah, you can just remove this flag, or we have existing. I think we have some predefined GCP project. I think I can do a PR example, or you can basically check to the in the issue post. There are many examples on how to migrate.
I already had that PR. I linked to the specific file. I've created an issue. You can take a look at that.
Okay.
So Ryan, you feel free to self-assign this. And
Yeah.
I need to CCR now.
okay, cool.
And during the migration, there are some tests running against those PRs. So the error from those tests will tell you what to change or what to add to the specification of the pro jobs.
Okay. Okay, let's move to the board. I added all the cards today morning. So yeah, get allocatable resources go to beta, and yeah, we can approve for test. Cool. No more feature gates. Anybody interested? Oh, Francesco, you already here. SCC.
Yep. I can help in this area, but this basically is very simple. That okay, those are the fixes that we need to basically once those are in, this PR is easy peasy.
Oh, okay,
And
so this PR has a dependency.
I haven't
yeah,
heard of this one.
I just don't know what's the best way to convey the dependency. So my bad.
The serial tests were failing as well. So again, for that, I can't really do too much. I think it's dynamic kubelet config related serial tests that are failing.
I think we have some. I think that and I can take care of that. Not now, but start tomorrow. So for sure, we can track the individual failures, and we need to improve the serial lane signal anyway. So we can file some issues.
Like
and
I'm working on it, like to drop some dynamic configuration and to provide static configuration. But yeah, we can discuss it offline. It's not a problem.
Great.
Yeah, this is not about dynamic. It's about dynamic tests that run as part of serial. So I think one of the idea was to move them, migrate them into a separate job.
Yeah, it's one of problems. The second problem that I encounter is that like we have some disk pressure test. That also when we are waiting in after each for like disk pressure condition is gone, and we start the pod after it, the pod is still fail because of the disk pressure condition. So, or it was added after the test is finished to run, or it's because again some asynchronization between kubelet condition and like API condition.
I see.
So
Interesting.
I'm working on it. So I hope I will have some solution.
I realized we have a topic probably for the next meeting or even the next. We have another fixes we are discussing for the memory manager test, which seems to a possible cause, maybe not the only cause, seems to be that the memory is fragmented. And we have this test Artyom mentioned that seems to suggest that depends really on the node state. So on one end, we want those tests. On the other end, they have an implicit dependency of the node state, because if you have, for example, too fragmented memory, the test will fail and it's a false negative actually. So I guess I'll file a topic for the next meeting or so. It basically it boils down to depend on how we should handle those tests that have a really strong dependency on the node implicit precondition on the node state.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, let me. Yeah, I don't know how to convey it either. We can just rely on this comment. I think it's good enough. Okay, board here. Another graduation, CPU manager policy options to beta. Don't have much of a test changes, right?
There is one tiny test change. This is a unit test. There is one end-to-end test, which basically I'm making sure all the feature gates are enabled. So it's really that's it. So I guess it should be easy peasy again.
Okay. I can
And
set
Kevin is
aside.
reviewing. Yeah,
Oh,
Kevin
Kevin
is
already on
reviewing.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I will need a couple of X because feature gates, but I will ask for them later. But for this forum, it should be okay.
Should I explicitly assign? Task already. Francesco, is it fine if I assign it to you so we won't look at this next time?
Yes, even yeah. No, this one is fine. I was still thinking about the CP manager one. This one is fine. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Raise. So let's go from the end since we already discussed it. Artyom, you looking into that, right?
Currently, I'm looking into the serial one, but this one is pretty related also to serial failures because it has the same kind of failures, but it just excludes some Docker-related tests, and so yeah.
Is it okay if I assign it to you?
Yeah, it's okay for my side.
Sorry, I had to step away for a moment. For the
I did.
serial container D thing, I think those are the same flakes that we're seeing with the rest of serial. So whatever work we have in flight for that should help.
Are you still talking about serial container D?
Yeah. The other thing that happened is yesterday, we were getting pings from the CI signal lead on that. I did not realize that got added as a release informing test. It looks like basically there were 2 green runs and DIMS was like, let's add it as release informing. And someone did this while I was out of office. I don't think it was, I checked in the notes and I don't think it was discussed. And we had like 1 billion emails about it failing. And I think typically it needs to be green for like 2 weeks, not 2 runs before we add it as release informing. So yeah, I just reverted that yesterday. And now we will hopefully stop getting pings about it because we know it's broken, or at least we know it's flaky.
Yeah. And do you need to revert ones that currently run pull requests? Because it's also
so
always
I'm confused about that because I looked at the manifests and they don't appear to have always run written on them. Like always run is set to false. So I'm not sure why they're running on PRs.
Me either. It's really strange, but
so maybe we should take an action to talk to SIG testing about that.
I think I checked it and it has some condition, no? Like if you change some files under the specific folders, it will run the test. And in case if you did not touch these files, it will not run the line.
Is that true? Like, where would that be set? Because like this has changed semi-recently. I wasn't pulled in to do any approvals for it, and I'm not sure why it's happening. It's kind of wasteful because like we're ignoring the results basically. So like we shouldn't be doing that until those tests are green.
I think I saw it under the like test info repository under the job definition, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think this feature exists. At least we checked like maybe half a year ago, and
I'll look again.
Ben said that there is no way to specify which files trigger which job. Let's put it here for next week. Okay, so what do you want to do about this CRI? Is it IDT? Are you looking into that? I'm not sure if Aditi, are you here?
I don't think she is. Sorry, I found the change. I think we should probably also revert this one. And in fact, it does go and run the jobs if anything in test e2e underscore node or e2e node gets run. Unfortunately, these jobs are like never passing, so we probably shouldn't be running these tests until they are.
Which one are you talking about? About Sirio,
I'll
right?
submit a revert. I couldn't figure out why this was happening because always run wasn't specified, and it turns out there's some other thing that does a regex match on the files. So I'll create an issue for, or I don't know if I need an issue. I'm going to just revert the PR.
Okay, thank you.
I think Matthias isn't here today. It looks like Dim submitted both of these PRs, and Matthias LGTM'd both of them, and neither were discussed in the subgroup, and I really don't think we should have done that. So.
Okay.
Because I didn't see anything on Slack either.
Yeah, it just happened. I don't know like why it happened, as in I was really surprised and confused about it. So coming back to this, this flaking CRI C group V1 conformance, and Aditi made this comment. Aditi, are you on a call to comment? I'm still fighting.
I know that
Oh,
test.
it's green now.
Oh, it's green now. Yeah, I know that test has been like had issues on a bunch of different things, not just that job. Yeah, I guess it very occasionally flakes. And I guess more previously. I think it's like failing or very flaky on the swap jobs as well.
Should just close it. Okay, this is it. Intent task. Still nobody sign up to do that. I'll just keep it around. So spike. Okay, no updates here. I think it's already gone from the dashboard. So we're done. Oh, it dropped down back. Okay, so raise detected unit tests. Does anybody want to take a look? Or just keep it in to see what's happening? It doesn't seem to be happening recently. Skip it around. Great. So anything else about tests? If not, we can go to bug scrub.
Oh, I see you added that to the agenda. I just submitted a PR to revert the thing. Oh, for 10:06. I think we can move that to this meeting. I have found out why.
Perfect.
And submitted a PR to fix it.
This was fast.
Yeah. Did some detective work.
Okay, let's look into bugs. Let's probe running before startup probe. Yeah, we need Matthias here because I think Matthias already fixed that.
What version of Cube is it?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand. 121, no.
Assign this one to me and triage accepted. I think it's fixed already.
Yeah, I didn't set priority. If this is true, then this is bad. Yeah, because nobody expects Lovin's probe to be succeeded before startup probe finished. Oh.
I just closed this one. Somebody had already marked it as support, but forgot to close it.
Okay. And the memory regression.
Oh, Ryan, I think, managed to bisect this. I think there's a comment. So like this caused the size of the kubelet binary itself to increase. So someone suggested that maybe it's just that the code in memory needs more space. But it's like not a trivial increase. It's like 30%. So
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
yeah, there's no one currently assigned. Ryan at least was helpful enough to figure out when it happened, but I'm not sure what we want to do about it.
Sasha, fixing it. I mean, fixed it already. Do we need just to validate?
Yeah, you can click on either of those links and they'll show that the memory
Yeah, but
footprint
it's
is increased.
122, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't cherry picked yet.
Oh, this wouldn't be cherry picked. This is a build change.
So 122 will have a regression?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can look at the screenshots that I posted too. So you can see in 121, it was like kind of hovering around. I took both the masters and the workers. In 121, the masters were hovering around like 70-ish, and then they jumped to closer to 100. And then for the workers, they were already at 100, and they jumped to like 130-ish. So
And what was this regression again? You said it was bisected to something, Ilona?
It was bisected to they changed the way that they built the kubelet binaries, which I think is causing the memory footprint of the kubelet to increase. It's like I think, let me take a quick look at the issue again. Where is it? Like, it makes sense why the memory footprint increased. It's just that we didn't really talk about it to anyone, and like the release note doesn't really explain why it increased. Okay, so there's a new build flag which enables ASLR. ASLR is address space layout randomization. I think it requires like slightly more memory, but then can prevent certain classes of like exploit. So
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for the.
yeah, and I'm just like, this wasn't really discussed. I guess like SIG release just kind of made the change, and yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to cause problems, but I'm surprised that this got as little visibility as it did, and now we're catching it as a regression.
Yeah, 25 megabytes. Yeah, I guess it's not that much. It's feasible for sure. I think it's not that much because runtime takes, I think, what's the current numbers? We can take a look.
Yeah, I mean, it's not enormous, but it's also not
So,
nothing. Like, for
yeah.
example, if people are concerned about, edge and that kind of thing, like relatively small environments, and this doesn't appear to be something that you can turn off. So
yeah, comparing to runtimes, it takes like 200. Or maybe like, yeah, that doesn't seem to. I mean, I understand why it wasn't not just. I just yeah, it's clearly the degradation. Okay. So it's triad chat, but do we want to do anything beyond this fix? I don't think we can. And we cannot port it back to 122. Master.
yeah, I don't know. I think
Yeah,
I think it's
I
worth
see this
discussion.
drop. Yeah, it's still 120 something. Used to be 130. Yeah, I'm not sure what we can do about it beyond beyond this revert back, or like change for compiler. Do you have a suggestion, or I would suggest us to close it because we don't have any action items if we know the root cause.
Like in general, should we discuss it with the security team? I don't know, because like I cannot evaluate how risky the security problem. So it's hard to evaluate if it's like okay to have increase of memory to resolve security problem or not. I don't know.
I mean, if nothing else, I think that we just really need, like, this shouldn't be catching people as a surprise randomly that they have to go and bisect and file bugs. Like, if we're enabling a security feature, which we know is going to cause all Kubernetes binaries to increase in memory consumption, that needs to be communicated, because like, we're catching this now because we're looking at 122, but the vast majority of Kubernetes users are not going to like see this for some amount of time, since they are often many versions behind like the latest in development. So there may be nothing to do, but like the comms around this need to be better, and that's been like I think it's come up more than once with like SIG release where they've made a change and then nobody knew about it. So I think it's fair to bring up.
Yeah,
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
sound like there's a lot of appetite within this group to necessarily go and chase that down. So I'll see if it's something that I can bring up. I know that we're not going to have a chairs and leads meeting next month because of KubeCon, but I can see if I can like start a Slack thread or something.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we only have 5 minutes.
And for the future, I'm just curious that that dashboard, it does contain pprofs for memory, like if we need to chase down future memory regressions like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I know that I think Antonio added support for like kubelet resources into the whatchamacallit, the perf tests, but it doesn't look like necessarily there are memory dumps showing up in the artifacts. So that might have just been an accidental oversight. If somebody wants to file a bug and follow up there, I think that would be the right thing to do in the perf test repo.
Okay, got it. I can do that. Thanks.
Has anybody seen this message before?
I have not.
Yeah, but it's related to the upgrade. So I don't know how many people is really around upgrades on dev environments.
Status created that it's not set. Created. Yeah, I feel like there is not enough information. Anybody wants to take a look? Yeah. Somebody familiar with cryo may be needed here.
I suggest Peter, but it looks like he's dropped. So
It's a good. Yeah,
maybe,
at least we need
maybe
to
CC him and
accept it.
see if.
Do you remember alias?
It's Hair
Like-
Commander.
Yeah, Hair Commander.
Yeah. Okay. And we at a time. I think we didn't triage one.
I can just do that one real quick. I think it's a support request.
Okay. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.